Good morning, all. So now I am continuing the previous topic, recruitment process. So in the recruitment process, there is various sources of recruitments. So there are internal sources of recruitment and external sources of recruitment. Both are there. So internal sources of recruitment already I am discussed earlier. So internal sources of recruitment consist of employees who are already on the payroll of a firm. That means already they are already working for organization. So it also includes former employees who have returned to work for the organization. Those who are former employees, that means already they are worked in previously they are worked in the organization. So after that they went to they go to some other company. So they want to return, come back to your organization, then that is also one of the source. Then recruitment from internal sources is done to fill up vacancies through promotion, rehiring, and transferring employees within the company. So in generally, this process is done through promotion or rehiring. That means you have to rejoinings and transferring. So these are the three important sources which are included in internal sources of recruitment. Okay. So after that, external sources of recruitment. So external source of recruitment refers to the sources that lie outside or exist external to the organization, outside of the organization simply. So what are the sources? People joining an organization specifically through recommendations. So with recommendations, so from reputed persons or well-known persons in the society or business people or politicians or some other or relatives which are there in the organization. So after that, second important thing is employment agencies such as Naukri.com or employment exchanges. These are also another important source. So and third one is advertising. So through advertisements, you have to give the recruitment notifications. This is also one of the source. So there is a huge response for advertisements. So rather than all these things. So and then after that, institutes like colleges and vocational schools and campus selections. This is one of the major source for recruitment. So in education issues, there is a huge number of candidates are there. There is a availability is very more. So then there is a choice to recruit the candidates. So then after that, contractors. So contractors means suppose you need some 100 number of labor. So then you go for a contractor, and then you give your requirement. Then according to that, he arrange the labor, the number of labors, and hiring unskilled labor. So hiring unskilled labors means those are not trained. So those who are not having some skills, then they are treated as unskilled labor. So that is also one of the another important source. And a list of applications. So already there is a applications are received earlier. So you have to maintain that in office in our file. Then is there any requirement? Then you go to that file and then search and list out the applications. And after that, temporary workers. So those there is no availability of the permanent workers. Then first you have to recruit the temporary workers because there is a requirement. So without manpower, you can't do anything. That's why you have to take the temporary basis also. Okay. So for a smooth running of the production process. Okay. So this is these are the sources of external recruitment. Okay. So after that, next important phase is selection. This is nothing but HRM process. Okay. So HRM process, after recruitment, there is a selection process. So already it will be shown in the diagram. So previously, so HRM process. Just once again, I'm showing that image, the process. Uh, So this is the diagram. So actually this is the process of HRM. So recruitment already we have already I am discussed. So selection, after that selection, training, after that performance appraisal, motivating, compensating, and maintaining lab relations. So all these. Okay. So now I am discussing about selection. Okay. That is the second phase of the HRM process. Okay. So selection. So selection is very important process in the HRM. So the process of identifying the most suitable persons for the organization is called selection. So those who are most suitable for our organization, so psychologically and technically, that means a skill and a knowledge, those who are very much opted for our organization, then you have to select that type of people. That is called as selection. So after that, selection is also called a negative function because at a stage the applications are screened and shortlisted based on the selection criteria. Actually, it is called a negative function. It is a positive function, not it is a positive function. Because there are so many applications are there. That means so many people are send their applications through online or offline. So these are screened and shortlisted. So after that, you are receiving the applications. Then you have to screen it and shortlist it based on your criteria. So already you have to design some criteria for recruitment for selection of the employee. Then according to that criteria, the applications are sorted out. So screened and shortlisted. So the main purpose of selection is to choose the right person for the right job. So the main purpose is you have to select the right person for the right job. So the job analysis, job description, and job specifications are carried out before the position is advertised. Okay. So the job analysis and job description and job specifications, these are all carried out before the position is advertised. So already I am discussed earlier. That's why the reason is already I am discussed about job analysis, job description, job specification in previous class. So for what purpose? Before we are going to selection process, first I have to design all these things. Okay, so job analysis, job description, job specification, then only you are getting the clarity how what are the requirements and how we are giving the advertisement. Okay, so you know all these things, job analysis, job description, job question only, job specifications only, then you are giving, then you are able to give the advertisement for the recruitment process. Otherwise you can't do. Okay, so because you may not provide any information in the advertisement, so you have to give any information or requirements. You have to mention in the advertisement. There is a need of job analysis, job description, and job specifications. Okay, so these provide adequate insight about nature of the job, its description, and its specifications. So it provides adequate insight about nature of the job and also description of the job and specifications of the job, and further focus on what type of person is to be selected for a given position. So the persons who are suppose what type of persons have to require, that means what are the requirements uh, for this job, then you have to check all the requirements are there in that person or not. That means what are the skill set you are required, and what are the knowledge you have to require, and what is the experience you have to require, and what is the education qualifications you have to require. Then you have to mention it all. Okay, so selection is an important process. So focus on what type of person is to be selected for a given position. So the selection process is mainly focused on what type of person you have to select for a given position. So you have to select the right person for the position in the organization, then only your requirement is fulfilled. Otherwise, he does not meet your requirements. Then there is no use to recruit that person in that particular position. So these simplify the process of selection. So then this process is simplified with the use of job analysis and job description, job specification. Okay. So after that, selection process involves the following steps. So what are the steps included in the selection process? First one is initial screening, shortlisted, listing, and comprehensive application, biodata screening, and aptitude or written test, and group discussion, personal interviews, group discussion. So again, it is repeated, sorry. So after that, medical examination and employment offer letter. Okay. So this is the selection process. So in the selection process, very beginning thing is, first initial thing is initial screening and shortlisting. So according to requirements of the organization and what are the specifications of the job, based on that you have to screen the applications. Those are already coming into the organization or online or offline. Then you have to first sort out the applications. After that, you have to screening and shortlisting in that from that applications. Then based on the criteria, that means percentage required, suppose in a degree or something. So and technical skills. Okay. So these are all comes under criteria. So according to the criteria, then your application will be shortlisted. So after that, comprehensive application biodata screening. After that, second important phase is after shortlisting, then you have to comprehensive application and biodata screening. Also more elaborately. So they are giving some other biodata after in the interview process. Then they are asking some more questions based on their requirements. So then you have to then they are collecting all the data. After that, there again it will be screened. So and after that, those who are screened after in two phases. First initial screening, and after that comprehensive application biodata screening. Then after that, these two phases, only few people are shortlisted, and they are conducting some aptitude test or written test based on requirement. So aptitude and technical test both are there, or only aptitude test based on the requirements. Okay. So then after that, they are conducting group discussion. Okay. So with all the shortlisted candidates, they are conducting some group discussion on that particular topic. Okay. So before they are conducting personal interview, they are conducting group discussion. Why? Because in that process, they are shortlisting some of them. So then only some of the people are going to final interview. That purpose, for that purpose, first they are conducting the group discussion. Those who are shortlisted. Okay. So in the group discussion, they are giving some of the topics, and they are observing. So how they are arguing, and if they are more talkative or not. So how the communication skills are. So and how much knowledge they are having that particular domain. So they are observing all these things. Okay. So those who are in ideal position, then they are not giving any marks to that persons. So all the people are interacting with one with another, and they are following. And also they are participate in the debate. Okay. So that is compulsory. So after that, they are going for final interview. That is personal interview. So in personal interview, they are checking. They are observing your attitude and your personality and your skill set, and they are tested in all aspects. So technically, they are asking some questions, and also based on some psychology. So psychology related questions also. So and also they are observing your posture and gesture and all these things, how we are sitting and how we are responding. So all these things are observed in the personal interview. So after personal interview, then there is a medical examination. That means not an examination. So just a medical checkup, because you are a healthy person or not. So if you have any health issues, then they are not ready to take into job, because they are giving some training, and also they are expecting some period you are working for that organization. So some 2 years or 3 years they are expecting from you. So that's purpose they are conducting medical tests also. After that, they are you are passed in these things. So in personal interview and medical examination, then after that they are raising employment offer letter. So they are offering a job for you. So for the then they are raising offer letter. So if you are willing to join, then they are giving some time. Okay. So they are giving some time. Okay. So within that time, then you are joining, then you join that job or not. So your willingness, so you are accepted or not, there is no issue. So if you are accepted or not, there is no problem. So they are giving offer letter. So if you are willing to join, then you are joined to that joining into the job. Otherwise, you just leave it. Okay. So this is the selection process. So after that, another important thing, next step is training. So training and development is the next step in the human resource management process. So training is very, very important thing. So training is short-term process of utilizing systematic and organized procedure by which the staff acquires specific technical knowledge and functional skills for a definite purpose. The focus of training is the job or task. Okay, so training is another important thing. So after selection, then you are giving training to that selected employees. There is a requirement. So because suppose what you are learning in the college, so that is not enough for doing a job. For that purpose, they are giving some training. So short term process. So then in this way they are improving your knowledge, technical skills for a definite purpose. So the focus of training is the job or task. Okay, so depending upon your job, then they are giving the task, then they are giving the training according to your job requirement. They are giving the training. Okay, not anything. So this is the training process. So what are the training needs? Training for what purpose? Training needs high turnover among the new recruits. So from new recruiters, then the company expects high turnover. That means high productivity. So for that purpose, there is a training. So and after that, increase in wastage of material. Suppose the is there any materials are wasted? So suppose there is a increment in wastage of material. That means the employees, the workers are wasting the material. That means they need require the then they require the training. For what purpose? Suppose they are wasting the material. That means they are not properly worked. So for that purpose, there is a need of training. So after that, increase in the number of rejected units of production. So is there a, suppose the defected products are there in high number, that means the workers are not producing the good products, that means quality products. They are neglecting the production process. That means there is a lack of knowledge and skills. Then there is a need of training. So then increase in the number of customer complaints. Suppose the after purchasing the product, the customers are raised so many complaints on our product. That means you are not giving a quality product. So quality product, you are not giving a quality product means then the worker is not producing a good product. Then ultimately they requires training. So after that, increase in the accident rate. Suppose in the organization, while production process, then there is accidents numbers are increased. That means the operating process, suppose the machines are not operated properly by the labor, then ultimately it leads to accidents. That means they are requiring training on how to use the machines. And after that, reduce the productivity levels. Suppose the employee productivity levels are reduced, the worker productivity levels are reduced, then there is a requirement of training. So how to improve? Then it is useful to improve productivity levels. And then after that, increase in machine breakdown. Suppose the machines are breakdown regularly. That means there is lack of practice how to operate the machine, then there is a requirement of training. So for that purpose, all these purposes, there is a need of training. Okay, so how to control and regulate all these things with the training only. Okay, so then after that, methods of training. So there are two methods of training. So on the job training and off the job training. So on the job training means it is designed to make the employees immediately productive. So it is learning by physically doing the work. The focus here is to provide specific skills in a real situation. These methods include, that means, so after getting the job, then they are providing some training that is called as on the job training. Suppose that means after placement, after you are getting the placement, then they are giving the some training. So that is called as on the job training. So it is designed to make the employees immediately productive. So every organization expecting some of the production after recruiting the employees, there is improvement in the production. So it is learning by physically doing the work. So it is only done by physically doing the work. So the focus here is to provide specific skills in a real situation. So the employees are working in a real situation, then there is a this is focus on what are the skills required for that situation. So how to handle that situation, some of the specific there is a need of some of the specific skills, then they are learning that skills while performing this job. Okay, so this is on the job training. So these methods include, so on the job training there are some methods. So first one is job instruction training. So what are the types are there in the on the job training is, first one is job instruction training. So this is a method used for such jobs which can be performed with relatively low skill. Here the trainees systematically acquire skills by following routine instructions in key processes from a qualified instructor. So in this method, which can be performed with relatively low skill, that means this is job instruction training is mainly focused on low skill tasks. That means the job requires only low skills. So this training is enough. Here the trainee systematically acquire skills by following routine instructions. So they are following routine instructions from the instructor, then they are acquiring the skills in a systematic manner in key processes from a qualified instructor. Okay, so the instructor giving the instruction, the worker is following that instructions, and in that from following that instruction they are acquiring some skills systematically. That is called as job instruction training. Okay, so then second one is experiential learning. So experiential learning means this is a modern approach to the learning process. This is a modern approach. So this method is more used for training the senior executives. This is generally used for training a senior executives, those who are already having a good experience. So it is a technique which empowers the manager trainee with the freedom of choice. They act upon and the capacity to initiate rather than simply respond to circumstances. So it is a technique which empowers the manager's trainee. So suppose those who are getting the manager's job, that are called manager trainee. So then some training is required for managers, those who are newly appointed as a manager. So there is a freedom of choice to act upon and the capacity of to initiate. So what is the capacity you have and what are the choices you have? There is a complete freedom. Then act independently and freely. Then he getting some of the experiences while doing the task. Then they simply responded to circumstances. Then he is unable to respond depending upon the circumstances. And the third one is demonstration. So demonstration means here the work procedures are demonstrated. So like demo. So to the trainees, they are giving some demos to the trainees. Then they are able to how to do this from demos. So in general, suppose you are purchasing a new refrigerator or AC, some smart TV, then they are giving some demos after installing that device. Then they are giving some training, not a training, they are giving some demo. So demo means how to use this product, what are the features are there, and then what are how to operate this. Then they are giving some demos. So like this, in the training also they are giving some demos. So from these demos they are observing how they are giving the demos, and as it is they are also doing the same thing. Then he is able to understand how to operate this. Okay, so this is demonstration process. So each of the trainees is asked to carry out the work on a sample basis. So sample basis, they are giving some sample work, and they are asked to carry out this work. And based on his or her observation and understanding of the demonstration, then he is able to understand how to do this work. Okay, this is called as demonstration. So and after that, apprentice training. So apprentice training is also another important mode. So those who are selected to work in the shop floor are trained as apprentices in the factory for a brief period ranging from 3 months to 1 year, depending upon the complexity of the training. Those who show good progress in this training are likely to be absorbed in the same organization. Those who complete apprentice training are likely to get good jobs outside also. So apprentice training. So the government is also focused on this mainly. So suppose some diploma students, they are having some apprentice in their coursework. So after completing this apprentice training only, they are getting the certificate from the technical board education. So what is the need of this apprentice training means, before they are entering into the job and are completing their course, they are working in that particular area. That means suppose they are mechanical engineers or civil engineers or some of the engineers. So depending upon the trade. So they went to that organizations, the field they are related. So they got some experience. So they are working some 3 months or 1 year. Then they are getting experience in that work. So practically. So then he able to understand what is the reality. So and what are the skills they required in addition to their qualification, that means their degree. So depending upon the complexity of the training, okay, that is duration of the period is depending upon the complexity of the training. So those who show good progress in the training, so those who are performing well in the training period, they are likely to be absorbed in the same organization. So they are giving the opportunity. Those who are showing their performance at a good, that means very good performance, then they are observed in the same organization. And those who complete apprentice training are likely to get good jobs outside also. So those who are completing this apprenticeship training, another benefit is they are also getting good jobs in the outside of the organization. That means not they are suppose they are not getting job in the organization. Those who are completing an apprentice, those who are completing in apprenticeship, so there is no problem at all. They are getting the jobs from outside also. Okay, because they have the stuff and knowledge and practical knowledge. Okay, so that is apprenticeship training is very, very important. So that's why the government must include this apprenticeship training in the degrees. Okay, so suppose CA, if you are taking an example of CA, for CA there is articleship, the 1 year training. So they are trained under the guidance of the practical, that means auditor. So those who are completed the CA, so after completing this articleship only, they are getting the CA certificate. After final examination, then they are getting the CA certificate. Otherwise, they are not able to get the certificate, because there is a need of actual training. That means what is the actual scenario. Okay, so otherwise they don't know what is the reality. So for that purpose only, they must focus on apprenticeship training. This is very, very important tool to getting knowledge. Okay, so that is the best source. Okay, so this is about apprenticeship training. Okay, so these are the on the job training methods. Okay, so today I stopped over here.